Hi, my name is Francesca Roman, and today I'm going to be answering the question, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues, by a commentary on my film opening, Inconspicuous. So first, I'm going to be talking about the lighting. So usually the typical lighting for a genre film opening that's horror or thriller is a dark and gloomy setting. But as you can see from the clip, which I just paused on, the outside is bright, it's sunny. It might be raining, but you can still see the sunshine through all that, which is not a typical convention of a horror film, like in the movie It, which allows characters to interact with horror parts of a movie while in the dark. This film opening was filmed during the daylight to kind of give a sense of surprise for the audience when they find out that this film might not be as happy or as bright as it may seem from the beginning, and it also can act as a hook or as an enigma to keep this audience's attention. Movies that I used for inspiration were like Midsummer's, which was usually bright and with a bunch of colors outside in the sunshine, but in reality it contained a lot of horror in it. Moving on to props. As I pause here, we can see that we used Snickers bars, which will be used later on for the character to be eating outside while Johnny is taking out the trash. And props, some conventions of props used in horror films are blood and mutated body parts, which which we followed in order to keep that convention alive and to keep the audience engaged, knowing that this film is actually about horror. So as we can see, Johnny is about to take out the trash, and the fingers are about to fall out of the bag, followed with a trail of blood. We followed this convention by using, as we said, different types of props, which we can see in a bit, which was fingers that were actually made of rubber, and blood, which actually was made of glue and food coloring. And it gave the audience a feeling of suspense to wanting to know why they were there, whose fingers they were, why there were so many, what's going to happen with the fingers. And blood was also used to hint to the audience the genre, which is, as I've been saying, horror and thriller, since most horror and thriller films use blood to represent danger. Like in the movie Scream, blood was used a lot to either represent when someone is dying or to represent that something bad was going to happen. Next, I'm going to talk about the location and setting. So, as we saw at the beginning, this film was located at a gasoline stop, which is usually also representative of a scary and suspicious environment, since it's usually isolated, maybe like in a corner, alone. There isn't a lot of people that go there only to like put gasoline, but gasoline stops inside the stores can be scary, which is a convention that we followed of a typical thriller or a scary movie. We had the scene be located in a gasoline stop to convey to the audience like a suspicious environment and let them become aware of the surroundings and caution of what is to come. As you can see, we also used a bathroom that was located in this gasoline stop, which is also a suspicious place to be in following the conventions. Like in the movie Splinter, there are some scenes which are located in a gasoline stop, which lets the audience know that something bad is going to happen or could happen. Next, we're going to talk about representation. So if we go back, we can see Johnny, which is the person taking out the trash, and Sadie, which is the killer, so Sadie and Johnny. Unlike most killer or horror and thriller movies, like Psycho, where the killer ends up being a male figure, we decided to cast our lead to be a female, a young girl, and who at first glance may be seen as innocent or as nothing harmful, but at the end of the day, she ends up being the killer. And this representation of having a female as the lead of the movie, instead, and having a male as a side character does not follow the conventions of a horror/thriller film, because it comes to a surprise to the audience that the female could be the killer and the male could potentially even be a victim. And this gives an opportunity for young women to have lead roles in horror and thriller movies, like in the movie Monster, and also allows for the opportunity to explore different types of genders and conventions, usually in film. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening, and bye.